Midweek Insights for the 1 Degree Outside Weather Network just got back from a school visit down in Weymouth, Massachusetts. Always extra special when I get to go back to my hometown. These are the kindergarten through 5th graders in all school assembly at the Hamilton School. Teachers were there too. They had so much energy and we had so much fun talking about weather and climate and the water cycle and storm safety. If you would like a school visit, we have a few spots left for this year, but we've opened the booking for next year too. If you want to get on the calendar early, thank you to the Hamilton School for having me out. Schools.onedegreeoutside.com for all the information. We'll get back to you within 24 hours and get a date on the books. Let's dive into the weather now. We've got some morning and evening showers that come in for our Wednesday. We'll time those out. The wettest day overall of the next few looks to be on Thursday. The coolest day overall is Friday, though it's still damp with some showers. Improvement this weekend. 70s both Saturday and Sunday, and some heat comes in next week. 80s by the time we get to Tuesday in many spots. Meantime, the allergies, they're up there. Now, the rain will knock it down a little bit, but everything's blooming and blossoming this time of the year, so it only gets knocked down temporarily and goes right back up to very high by the time we get to the upcoming weekend. Jet stream, of course, steering our storms, and we got this disturbance coming out of the Great Lakes and over New England, with the jet stream pointing right over us on Wednesday and then closing off here, big upper level low, keeping the unsettled weather around as we head into the end of the week. We bump that storm out of here for the upcoming weekend, and then look at this big ridge just up in the jet streams all the way in eastern Canada, and that's allowing for the warmth to come up and down the eastern seaboard, heading into the beginning and potentially even middle part of next week, particularly down to our south. So let's time things out. For our Wednesday, clouds thicken early. Any early morning glimmers of sun, if you get them, enjoy them. The clouds went out, and scattered showers will be moving through over the course of the morning to midday. That's a warm front that lifts north, and that will mean scattered showers continue in northern New England, but notice we do get a lull in the action at times across central and southern New England where there's not as much green on the map. There may be a couple of isolated showers, but the mid to late afternoon and even into the early evening, so after school activities and games, depending on how wet it gets early, if they can dry out, will be mainly dry. That said, western New England gets into some downpours, maybe even a thunderstorm in Vermont. That will tend to fill in over the course of the overnight with scattered showers in central, western New England. By Thursday, it's wettest through the interior. I can't rule out a couple of showers the farther east you go, but notice what happens during the midday to the afternoon on Thursday. Pockets of rain, heavy downpours fill in eastern New England, pockets of rain in western New England, and in between, scattered showers. So it's not raining everywhere the next several days, but there's rounds of wet weather, temperatures in the 50s and 60s. And by the time we get to Thursday evening, there's still areas of rain around. So bottom line, I would have the wet weather gear with you the next several days. Again, overall, the wettest day is on Thursday, but some showers are likely to linger into Friday as well. How much rain are we talking about? And it is going to be a variable amount depending on where you are, but a lot of western, northern, and far eastern New England are likely to pick up about an inch and a quarter of rain. Now, there are some deeper yellows here, and I do think we will have some locally higher totals, particularly where we can focus some of those downpours in eastern New England and perhaps in far western New England too. There are also some decent signs that in between those two heaviest areas of rain, focused in western and eastern New England, will get a little bit less, about a half to 3/4 of an inch. Same for far northern and eastern Maine, where you're kind of most removed from that. But we could use the rainfall, and so this is welcome news. Again, Friday, it's some leftover showers that will taper and pull out of here later in the day. It's still kind of a damp, cool, raw feel, though. Saturday looks like a beautiful day. Back into the 70s, breezy. Northern New England pops a shower later in the day on Saturday. And what's this? Yeah, some showers do come through, but for most of us, that was the map overnight on Saturday. So we'll watch the timing of those, but both weekend days look mainly dry with a blend of sun and clouds and milder temperatures. I do think the wind will be just light enough that some local sea breezes may kick in during the day on Sunday before we really open up the door to some of the warmth by the time we get to early next week. So highs for Wednesday, 50s north, lower 60s south. Again, a changeable day with a round of showers in the morning, then a little lull, and then some that come in, particularly in western New England by the evening. Overnight lows, 40s to lower 50s. The wind on Wednesday, by the way, will gust at times 25 to 35 miles per hour. So not a damaging wind, but you're certainly going to notice that breeze. It stays at least fairly It stays at least fairly strong onshore flow during the day on Thursday, 10 to 20 miles per hour. So 60s or right around over 60 will do it. Overnight, 40s with the storm center to our south. It's essentially a nor'easter, shifting the wind out of the north and east during the day on Friday and then out of the northwest late in the day. So we'll see these numbers may be a little bit on the positive side. And what I mean by that is if we hang on to the showers and clouds, we may not get out of the 50s. Some spots may actually be stuck in the upper 40s. So we'll watch Friday's high temperatures. Either way, it is going to be running cooler than average. Ooh, then look at this. Saturday, the breeze kicks up. We see temperatures rise into the 70s, near 70 in northern New England with a couple of showers developing later in the day. And then Sunday looks beautiful too, well into the 70s. Again, the wind lets up a bit, so we may get some local sea breezes at the coast. We should be around 70. It's not out of the question that someone touches 80 in far southern New England on Sunday. For the start of next week, looks like 70s will stick around and then 80 plus likely on Tuesday before we may turn a little bit cooler towards the middle and end of the week. And you'll see that right in the 14-day forecast, right in our free 5-star weather app. Search 1 degree outside weather in the App Store and Google Play.
Thanks so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this 1 Degree Outside video.
Get exclusive content, support the mission at membership.onedegreeoutside.com. And don't forget, free and 5 stars on the App Store and Google Play. Search the number 1 Degree Outside Weather.